And I'm going to go straight to Jerusalem, where Mayan Hoffman is joining us. Mayan, the Israel military has released some footage of strikes destroying the ballistic missile launchers near Qom and defense systems in Isfahan. As you wake up this morning, are the skies clearer in terms of sirens? Is the frequency going down gradually?
Yes, the frequency is going down. In fact, we did have some sirens around 4 a.m. here in Jerusalem and a couple of others in central Israel throughout the night, as well as, of course, in the north. Mostly those, though, are from Hezbollah rockets. Today, around 12 p.m. Israel time, we're expecting a reduction in the home front command restrictions. That is because, of course, the reduction in rockets coming to the country. The IDF is reporting that they've managed to stop about 86% of Iranian capabilities to target Israel. That's huge. Therefore, our first rescue flight of some of the 100,000 Israelis stranded abroad landed about an hour ago in Tel Aviv, and more flights are expected to come. For now, our airports are opening up to about one Israeli flight an hour, soon to be two, they're saying, and hopefully by next week, we're going to see even more action. Today, people are going to be able to go back to work midday. Up until now, only essential workers have been allowed to really leave their homes and go to work. And this is a big benefit for the economy, of course, as we've been shut down since Saturday, anybody who didn't have a essential job. So yeah, I mean, the rockets are definitely reduced. People are feeling
you have made
safer
an important
and
point
hoping to get a little bit of relaxation.
that since Saturday, now today will be the first day when people will be going back to their work. So does it mean that the offices are opening, the schools are opening, and it will be business as usual from today onwards? What's giving what's giving the authorities that confidence that they can open the offices?
Sure. No, it's not going to mean that schools are open. Schools are still staying closed. Kids can't really go back to school yet. And part of that is because you can imagine when you need to rush to a shelter with hundreds of students, especially young students, that would be very risky. It's more that people can go back to their offices to feel comfortable and safe to drive on the roads, especially in between strikes, because again, we're seeing far fewer strikes than we saw in the past, larger breaks. Yesterday, we did have a series of strikes as well, but they were mostly concentrated into the afternoon hours. And although there were a couple of a little bit of damage caused by some of the shrapnel, there were no direct hits. Israel's been able to really stop those. We're still seeing rockets more in the north, people in the Galilee and the Golan up top near the Lebanese border. I'm sure you saw the Hezbollah leader speak last night. He made a statement that Hezbollah got involved because they believe that Israel violated the ceasefire, both by attacking in Lebanon, to stop the targets over the past year. That ceasefire had been signed in November 2025. And there have been repeated need for Israel to go in and to stop attacks, condemned the Lebanese government. Of course, Hezbollah condemns it because of wanting to take those weapons away, though, as we're seeing now, that was clearly ineffective, and also accused Israel of breaking the ceasefire by assassinating Khamenei in Iran. Iran obviously is in charge of Hezbollah, the proxy, so Israel has been attacking on both those fronts over the last days. The IDF is saying 1 to 2 more weeks of attacks in Iran are necessary in order to really make sure that the people are safe here and that the capabilities are eradicated to the best of their ability. So we're talking 1 to 2 more weeks. But again, with about 86% of the capabilities already stopped, Israelis are able to feel safer. Israel said they've launched about 5,000 bombs, targeted precision missiles into Iran since the start of the conflict.
Okay, so the U.S. destroyers, which is a major warship in stockpile, is heavily armed surface warships, which are designed primarily for air defense missile strikes, and they escort aircraft carriers of fleets, and hence it's very, very significant in terms of how U.S. in fact operates the largest fleet of destroyers in the world. News just coming in that IDF has started another wave of strikes in Tehran. The IDF has just begun a broad wave of strikes targeting infrastructure of the Iranian terror regime throughout Tehran. So now another wave of strikes in Tehran, and the target is infrastructure of the past regime, or the present regime, I should say, in the infrastructure of IRGC, which is the Revolutionary Guard Corps, and the other crucial assets which are part of the administration in Tehran. Let me go back to Mayan. Mayan, so IDF now saying that there are new waves of strikes in Tehran.
That's correct. We're seeing that now, and we're expecting, as I said, to see that for at least the next 1 to 2 weeks as Israel continues to work. There are several targets that Israel is focusing on. We talk a lot about regime change, and of course, targeting the leadership is important, but the goal there is to get the field ready so that the people themselves can rise up and lead to regime change. That's not something Israel's going to be able to do via airstrikes. What they are working on is, number one, the nuclear programs, of course. Number two, the ballistic missiles, that they have to stop the ability for Iran to launch those ballistic, very deadly missiles at Israel. They're also working to eradicate the military infrastructure, IRGC, Basij, making the police as well, anybody that could potentially stop the Iranian people from being able to protest when all of this is over. So we're seeing Israel carry out those targeted strikes in different capacities, obviously working with our intelligence community in collaboration, very close collaboration with the United States, in order to ensure, what you are seeing, there are very targeted strikes. You see that they are targeting infrastructure, they are targeting the correct leaders, they're targeting the right buildings. Israel's not just throwing bombs at Iran. Even after 5,000, they have all been very, very targeted attacks.
Okay, so the joint U.S.-Israeli strikes, if you were to give us a sense of that, which are the Iranian cities which are being targeted largely, which are on the radar of the Israeli forces here?
Look, I think that it's you're looking predominantly at Tehran as the major city. There are several other cities that Israel is targeting, but they're lock and step with the United States. What you're seeing is that, and actually the president spoke about this very recently, that they've basically have come up with a game plan where each of them have their own targets. So you see the U.S. targeting with the naval forces, you see Israel targeting more with certain airstrikes, and they're working together to eradicate all of the targets. We don't obviously know all the targets in advance, but we do know the type of targets. And as I said, Israel has come out very clearly here in the country to let us know what their goals are, and that is, again, nuclear, ballistic, and police, and then any target that would help to bring about regime change. They have a hit list of leaders. There was the first round, the second round. There's succession, going on. I think you saw yesterday that as the son of Khamenei gets ready to potentially be, reportedly to take over, Israel has already said, our defense minister Israel Katz, that the minute he is in place, he will also be targeted. The goal is to ensure that the Iranian leadership does eventually become overturned. You have to remember that for decades now, we've been listening since 1979, right, about how Iran is going to eradicate Israel. You heard Hezbollah, even last night in the speech that was given, say that Israel does not deserve to exist, that they will not stop targeting until Israel is no longer here. And we need to, of course, eradicate these threats to ourselves, but also to the region. I remind you that the Houthis, for example, a proxy of Iran, was targeting the UAE and Saudi Arabia well before they even started targeting Israel during this last war. This is a regional issue, and actually it's an issue of Iran versus the West, and we need to bring about a better reality in the region and the world.